Welcome back to Arkansas Lake, where we cover authentic, relevant, and community stories. And I think this topic is very, very relevant to parents everywhere. We've got Dr. Mark Burton with us this morning. He's talking about various parenting techniques. And we got several questions for you. So let's just start with this one. This person says, tantrums with my 2-year-olds are pretty much next level lately. Meal times, leaving the house, leaving the playground, pretty much name it, the sons will tantrum. So do their brains have the capacity to grasp the words, I hear you, you're having big feelings right now, it must be hard, etc. So are their brains capable of...
Well, I think when they're calm.
When they're calm, not when they're not calm.
Not when they're in a tantrum.
In the middle of a tantrum, you really can't hear anything. I think that as a general rule, it's parenting, I think, is more of an art form as opposed to, following a set of steps. And so every child is different, and I think within a family, if there are multiple children, those children are different as well. And so in answer to this question, I think that, yes, the child could hear that if the child's calm, but not in the middle of a tantrum. So what I would suggest, without any further information, is, has something changed in the child's life that would then change the way he's experiencing his life, going to the park or meal times. And it's important to remember that children, as they're growing up, move from equilibrium to disequilibrium many times. And so he's moved into that disequilibrium stage, and he's dysregulated. So the most important thing is to figure out, are you reinforcing that? Because sometimes parents inadvertently will do something that will reinforce the behavior.
Like, here's the phone, just so that you'll stop.
Right.
And that's probably reinforcing it. In a
more
bad
tension.
way,
we don't know what's going on, but that might be part of the issue as well. And so you want to, I'm going to say ignore it, but the way you do that, I think, is different for every child. And so you set the boundary that we talked about earlier, about if you behave this way, then you can go in your bedroom and you can behave this way. Or if if it happens at meal times, we don't behave this way at the table, so you go over here and you decide, and you can change. You can decide when you're hungry, you can come back, and we'll continue with meal time. So you can even, I think I might have done this with my own kids. I put earplugs in. I'm not going to listen to you. I mean, you're there. They're not going to hurt themselves.
but
it's this message. It's this message. I'm not going to listen to you while you do this.
It's not working.
It's not working. So you take away the attention. I think what children want more than anything is that attention from their parents.
So do you address it later? Do you say, hey,
once
remember
they're calm?
when that happened? Do you talk it through? And are they not old enough to even understand that?
I think a 2-year-old, they're probably not old enough to understand that. There's a book I want to recommend. It's called Positive Discipline, and there are actually quite a few versions of positive discipline for preschoolers, for toddlers, for teenagers. But the one I really like is called Positive Discipline from A to Z. And the reason I like it, it's more like a manual. So you wouldn't sit down and read it. But if you have an issue with tantrums, you go to the back and it'll say tantrums. And then it'll give you several pages of ideas, and it's all positive. Several pages of ideas of what you can do differently to approach the tantrum. And I really think it's a helpful book.
Positive Discipline
from A to Z.
Okay, that's the book.
Next question is kind of similar to the other one. I try to talk to my 5-year-old daughter while she's having a meltdown, and it just gets worse. Is it okay to walk away for a little bit? When should I go back to her?
Well, I think you can walk away, and I would call that a timeout. And timeouts are effective, but I think you need to be direct with the child. I'm going to walk away because you need to calm down. I'll help you calm down. And the other thing about both of these questions is it's important to teach a child how to calm themselves. And they aren't going to know. But as parents, I think that's one of the things we can help them do.
And how do you do that? Breathing?
Well, I mean, it's different for, tickle your back. There are actually meditations for young children that some of my clients use with their children. They find them very effective. It's not going to work with every child. Again, you have to be creative, and if something doesn't work, try something else. But I would say taking a time out, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to say, you can be in your room, and then when you're ready to talk about it, come out and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think that...
I think there's probably some mom guilt there of, I'm walking away from my child when they're freaking out.
But
you know?
you're saying to them, this is what I'm doing,
Yeah.
so you can calm down.
Yeah.
And you can even help them calm down. Is there something I can do to help you calm down?
Yeah.
Good.
They won't.
We're almost out of time, but I want to ask my question.
Yes.
So there is this gentle parenting technique now with
Right.
little to no discipline. What's going to happen to this generation of children when they grow up if they haven't experienced consequences in their life?
I think they aren't going to assimilate very well into society.
Well, that's no bueno. We don't want that.
Most of us need to work in order to support ourselves.
Yeah.
And part of working is being part of a group or having someone tell you what to do, and there are consequences.
Yeah.
And you can be gentle parent, but
give
follow through
consequences.
on
Yes.
your consequences.
Yeah, I really believe you can be, you don't have to shame. You can be gentle and kind and empathetic, but it's really important to set the boundaries.
Yeah.
Here are the expectations. Here's what's going to happen if you don't follow through with the expectations. That way you don't have to get angry, because anger just distracts from the issue. Because then the kid just
That's
goes,
true.
"Oh, you're really angry,"
Yeah.
and it's not about
not
the
about
anger. You want to focus on whatever the issue
On the issue.
is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thanks
Burton.
so much.